Public speaking and criminal justice are incredibly intertwined, and it's really one of the best ways to help reduce not only crime, but address crime and violence as a public health crisis and not over-incarcerate people for their own trauma, because oftentimes the reason why people become domestic abusers, for example, is for a lot of them, they were previously abused. 30% of people who grow up in an abusive household grow up to be domestic abusers themselves. And we know that one of the #1 predictors of a mass shooter is a history of domestic abuse. Because Massachusetts has incredibly strong laws on guns, Massachusetts has the lowest rate of gun violence in America, with only about 3 people per every 100,000 dying as a result of gun violence, which is the lowest in the country. And a lot of that's because of the laws that are in place here. For example, like a several-week waiting period for guns has been able to significantly reduce homicides and suicides within the state. The fact that you need a permit to go out, it's a permit to purchase state also has played a heavy role in that. And also extreme risk protection orders, which are used to disarm people that are like domestic abusers and are a risk to themselves and others, are able to stop mass shootings and intimate partner shootings before they happen in the first place, because in law enforcement, one of the most dangerous situations oftentimes that you'll ever encounter is a domestic violence situation, because emotions are so high. And that's where a lot of public speaking has to be involved. You have to be able to effectively communicate with the person and de-escalate the situation without getting in a shootout in the first place. And you also have to make sure that we have to realize that when there's a shooting, both families of the person that's been shot and the person that is shooting lose someone, because either they're no longer alive or they go to prison, right? And there's trauma that results from that. And hospital-based intervention programs also play an incredible role in this, because there have been several studies that have been done, especially in urban communities and in cities primarily, where a majority of gun violence in America happens, that have shown that 80% of people that shoot somebody else have been shot before. And the reason for that is because it's retaliation. Because oftentimes when communities don't have a good relationship with their own law enforcement, because they only see like one cop at their school that's swapped out every day and isn't able to form a relationship between them and the police officer, they don't trust law enforcement. Understandably so, because they don't see them actually working in their community in the first place, because the people that are working in their community aren't actually from the community a lot of the time. And one thing that cities have to do with law enforcement also has to be involved in is hospital-based violence intervention programs, because there oftentimes is instances in communities that are heavily affected by gun violence where literally someone's brother will be shot, and as the entire family is at the hospital, they will bring guns to the hospital and start talking about how they're going to go and catch and shoot the guy that shot their brother. That is where violence interrupters come in. People like Ramal, who I met in New York City previously, and works a lot of the time in hospital-based violence intervention to offer counseling services to families from his community that have been affected by gun violence. And by doing that, they're able to significantly reduce the retaliation and therefore the gun violence that results, because retaliation just feeds off itself again and again until everybody gets it.